Hi there, this is Popo, I hope you're all fine. Welcome back to a new video of matches, and this is tournament time. So not a tournament that has started, but a tournament which is about to start. So I won't detail all the functioning of the tournament, but the story is that now the 12 contestants all got their factions, and one of them, which is Pride, or Mad Tank, as you wish, has to play with two factions during the World Tournament, Tengus and Tikis. So he decided to train a little and ask me for a game. So he would play the Tikis, so one of his faction, and he asked me to play the Dragons. So this is a casual game, so not that incredible that you play a game of matches, but I wanted to showcase you this game because this is a very cool game first. There are a lot of incomes with this, and this really shows the beauty of matches. Some things, some complication, some tactical stuff, some brilliancy that you can have on this kind of game of matches. There are so much abilities that you have also some kind of resources. Always you have some resources. Excuse me, I just searched for my words because I actually have COVID-19. So let's start the game, and we're going to talk about it. The game starts with head to d4. We have pawn to d5 and already a wyvern to f4. So this is a very classical dragon trap. If you don't pay attention, I'm going to take this pawn, and as the wyvern ability suggests, every your surround piece that may capture it will vanish. So of course you can't capture it, so I would win a pawn. And here this is very difficult to defend against it. I'm gonna win something. So this is why my opponent decided to play the Mohai to c6. So of course I can still take, and if captures then I'm up a pawn. But the Mohai is not that a good piece, and I traded my very cool wyvern against this piece early on the game. I guess I don't have the advantage here. So this is better not to trade, not to hurry, and wait a little. So I decided to follow up with head to c3, so building a structure. We have a pawn to f6, which is a surprising move, but it comes with a clear d9. I want to develop now this drake, but I don't want this totem to come here and get tempo of it, so I decided to play the very careful pawn to h3. Can be criticable, but if my wyvern is threatened somehow, I can just hide here. So we have a chimp to e6, so the shrine turns into a chimp here. So now this chimp is queen by 2 with a leaping movement, and they can also throw objects. So very cool stuff. So a drake to f3 is played, and now you get the royal idea of this very surprising opening with the tikis. Pawn to e4. So here the pawn is just thrown away to e4, attacking the drake, but this is calculated. Now I put the drake to d2, and as you see I have some pressure over this square here, so my goal here is to challenge on the c file. So so far so good. We have a chimp to e7, so not a big hurry. So maybe the idea is to put the totem here to get a better challenge from this square than the chimp himself. So immediately head to c4 is played, and now a totem to e6 is played. And now it seems like my opponent is ready to castle long. So I have to prepare a little my stuff. I decided to play drake to c3, so putting pressure over this pawn here. And then we have a pawn to f5, so a very mysterious move here. I guess this is not that a bad move, because the idea here is to develop the Mohai, I guess, and you want to get some activity. So it can be understandable, and maybe later you want to put this here, I don't know. Ideas can come. I decided to play a very passive move, wyvern to e2. The idea here, or maybe this is a bad move, but I'm ready to castle, and my wyvern can decide to go either way later on the game. So now we have castle long, and instead of castling, I decided to play immediately either to b3, which is pretty aggressive here, so I concentrate a lot of pressure here, so you have to defend correctly. And the Mohai goes to b6. So, point is, that doesn't have a defender here, but that adds an attacker there. If I don't pay attention, and for example I would castle, there would be capture, 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 and capture. You will say that the material is balanced. The problem is that now I'm down a wyvern for a totem. The totem is not that a strong piece, so you want to keep the wyvern paired when you play dragons as soon as possible. Also my drake, which becomes stronger because the other drake is gone, doesn't have good leaping squares. This is not the ILD place where you want it to be. with the other drag here, he could jump here. That would be better here. So this is why in this position, I decided immediately to attack here with drag captures d5. So if there's a trade, now my drag would be able to go here. So we have totem captures, head recaptures, and now yeah, I have double heads. This is not that good, but okay for now. Okay, this is not a big deal for now. Because now I have an open file and maybe I can try to slide an egg for this file. So we have pawn to g5, a counter striking here, and now you have to think, where do you put your wyvern? So my ideal plan is to put it here, of course. You can decide to put there. The only problem is that it's going to be challenged. For example, with this stuff here, if you decide to capture, then recapture, so you would have lost tempo. Another idea here, which is very funny, if you think that this is losing because the chimp can't recapture, you just forgot that this mask can just cross split and capture it. So very interesting. So in this position, I didn't want to destabilize my structure here, because if I play this, maybe there would be this kind of very weird stuff. Yeah, that would open my position, that would be cool for me, I guess, but I don't feel confident, and maybe my opponent would, after this move, would even not push first. Maybe he'll try to do some sneak stuff. So maybe first with some kind of a totem to h6. So yeah, a lot of stuff is going to happen. So I wanted to pacify and be sure that my wyvern would be still in play, and I decided to play wyvern to h2. So we have a totem to d6, so this totem really wants to exchange himself against the wyvern. So a few options. First option, you decide to get here, but after captures and captures, your structure is completely stupid and you lost the wyvern. You could decide to push this pawn, but then the wyvern is very, very weak, somehow. And then there are all kind of pressure here they can try to push. So I don't want that. So I decided to play a very risky move, a drag to e5. So yeah, there's kind of a pin trade, but you know, something can be done out of it. I just have to play very carefully. But the drag is very well placed and has a lot of square it can bounce to, so that's a pretty cool advantage for me. We have Mohai at 2f6, so adding an attacker here, but this is not a big panic. I can decide to castle here, because after captures, there's captures and that vanishes. So nothing to worry about. The only problem is that, okay, I don't have the wyvern pair anymore, but somehow I can play that. Instead, I decided to play a very bad move. I'm very sorry for that. I was calculating this, but I wasn't satisfied, so I decided that I wanted to put the Hydra here to add a defender, so if I capture, I can capture with the head, and now this gets very interesting. The only problem being is that this completely hangs ahead. And now the Mohai captures, and there's a direct threat here. So 3 attackers, that begins to be confusing here. So you have to play correctly to be sure that you wouldn't lose the game. So I decided to play pawn to f4, so maybe there was a better move, but I was feeling like this would help maybe to get back a cool pawn structure and maybe put this head here. We have pawn captures, head recaptures, and now the Mohai captures. So the head captures, and now I have a very cool head structure. Even this is not the position I wanted. My drag is gone, so I have to deal with the wyvern pair the most effective way possible. But for now, this totem is threatened, so it has to move back. So we have totem back to f8 thanks to the chimp throw. Very cool chimp. Now the stuff is, what do you do? There's an open file here. You can castle. Your king seems a little exposed here. So I decided that this was the good way to castle. And I was thinking to myself, this attack is too slow, because this is defended once, this can be defended, not twice, excuse me. This can be defended twice this way. So yeah, not a big deal. Also, this kind of move can happen. I feel like the black king is pretty safe here, and I need some safety. So we have mask to b6. So now my opponent is counter-attacking now on the queen side. Very interesting. So now this threats to capture this head, so I have to defend it with egg to d1. And now mask goes to c6, so getting tempo over the Hydra and asking the Hydra to just to leave. And I feel like if I continue to play in this kind of zone, I would be harassed, and maybe my opponent would target this kind of pawns. So I decided to put the Hydra now to e3, and the idea now is that as there is a weak point here, I'll try to concentrate all the strength I can get to try to get this f5 pawn, and normally this would fall right after. But my opponent plays chimp to g7, he has a lot of resources, this chimp is incredible. So now small threats are coming. The first one is that there can be a totem launch, so asking for the Hydra to just leave the area. Also, he can decide to shift this pawn and then free the mask. So you have to be very careful. I decided to play a wyvern to f4, so now I'm ready to make a trade if occurs, because now that can happen, because as you know, this is just a free piece. But of course my opponent is very clever, because he decided to shift the pawn to e7, and now it has a double effect. First, the mask can decide to come here, so it has some support, and second, my head can't advance to get the tempo here, so I was pretty worried. So I decided to play egg to d2. Egg to d2, the idea is to put more and more pressure here over the f5 pawn. I guess we have something cool out of it. But totem to h6 first is played. Totem to h6 is a very concrete move, because now it threats to capture. So now the goal is, the threat is, what do? You can decide to take, but that would be a trade. And now that's not that interesting, there's activity here and you lost the wyvern pair. So I decided to strike back here with pawn to g4, attacking the spot. And I was pretty confident about my setup. But pawn to e6 is played. Pawn to e6 has a double side. First, if captures, then recaptures. So that's not that working. And if you think that by capturing that, you can get this pawn, remember that the mask can cross split. So here I needed to attack the right way. So I thought a lot, and I came up with a very strange idea, but it seems like this is okay. I guess the best idea here is to push this pawn there. And now you try to get the two pass pawn, shift the Hydra and try to attack this way. I guess this was the way to proceed. I just forgot I has two passed pawns. But my opponent has also two passed pawns, so that would be a very complicated game. And with this awful chimp and the masks, there's some tricky stuff I can't really handle with my dragons. So this is why I decided to capture here on f5. And after recapture, now comes the trick part, wyvern to b5. Now, this is threatening to capture the mask. If the mask, for example, decide to go, I don't know, maybe this way, then I can decide to go for a very tricky line with this move. Now the threat here is promote with check, and I will win the mask here. You can decide to capture this way, but somehow there's capture here, so you're pretty forced to recapture here. And now my plan was, let me remember, I guess first capture here with a threat of check, and now I can capture and make a head and try to get the stuff. So pretty complicated idea indeed, but my opponent decided to play mask to e6 to be sure that nothing is done. So now my head can't move, but this is where I decided to try to kick this mask. So I decided to play wyvern to c4. So the idea here is that you capture, and then this is almost for free, because even if you defend, captures vanish, and now I push one. I can even decide to push twice with some kind of threats here of check. So feels like this is cool for me. So of course my opponent decided to capture immediately with the mohai, and this is exactly what I wanted, because now I can play head to d5. And now if the mask is theirs to move, this kind of pattern where I can get early promotion and try to just destroy my opponent's field. So here black decided to counterattack with totem to f4. Now you have to think a little because there are a lot of strategical stuff. Of course you capture the Hydra and then the same idea remains with the mask. But maybe you figure it out, actually they can be captured here. But if you're a good dragon player, you know that this is a blunder because he wins a rook. Let me show you. Because he captured a second head, now I create a head. If chimp captures, I just double advance and promote to an egg, check, king moves, and I will eat a chip, and now I'm completely winning the game. That would be very easy to transform that into winning endgame. So of course this mask can't do it. And again, if it moves, that would be pretty complicated to handle this stuff. So what does my opponent do? My opponent decides to play mask to h6, which is a pretty good move here. The stuff here is that it attacks this way, it also protects this way, so you can't decide to go up, else you're just gonna have some problems here. So what do you play? You can decide to play this move, but I feel like this move is very frightening because now the mask can move with a tempo here over the Hydra, so the Hydra has to move somehow, else you're going to get a check. And once this is done, maybe my opponent would be at the right time, for example, to go here to try to stop this head chain to happen. So the stuff here is that I need to calculate a bit more. So after a long time of thinking, I decided to go for the wall kill and try something out. I decided to capture the head with the head on e6. So sacrificing my queen, and we have mask captures, and now you have to be very careful. There are a lot of ways to play this position. You can decide, for example, to go promotes, king walks, capture, but then they would be captured here. Of course, that creates a whelp, that threats the chimp. Maybe the chimp goes here, and now you have to play very accurately. You can still try to have some counter, but the chimp is going to mess with you and try to rely on this pawn throw. So this is a playable position, but I wanted to play for the win. I wasn't sure of this. So I decided first to capture the egg. Also the idea is that maybe now I would get the egg maybe on the back rank. Excuse me, my mouse, yeah. Maybe I would get the egg on the back rank and try to do something with the promotion. But you have to play very carefully. So now this is a black to play, and maybe you thought, okay, I can still take this pawn, but this is the same trap as before. I double advance, promote, check, king walks, I take this, and I'm winning. So you can't. So now, what do? You simply move the king to d8, and now this controls the square of promotion, somehow, and now the threat here is very concrete. So I decided to play egg captures on f5, which is a pretty logical move. My egg is not range 4, so I don't have a direct check over my opponent, so I have to waste a move and then another move to get the check. So this is not fast enough to get an attack. And my opponent relies on that to play chimp to e7, and now this is even more complicated, because now there is a threat here. If you decide to go here, there is a threat here. And now I just cracked my head. I was already sick with COVID-19, so maybe this is why. I decided to play this very stupid move, egg to f6, which does absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. You can try by yourself. The only problem is that I was thinking that after a check, then the king goes here, and then I put that. But I just forgot that the head just doesn't jump. So yeah, I just cracked my head. And now the game ended pretty sadly, because after this, check, go here, and I decided to try a little tactic out of nowhere. If you decide to capture that, then I would put that. You can't capture, so you need to capture this, and then I would capture the chimp. But of course, you're not that a moron. If you decide to capture here, then there's this move. But again, you're not stupid, you're going to capture with the chimp. And now the game is basically over. But my opponent is not that stupid. He played an even brilliant sequence because it starts with chimp to g3, and now, believe it or not, this is mate. Yeah, if you decide to play the king here, this is going to be a nightmare for you. This is made in 3, because even if you move here, this is the same idea. The idea is that the chimp would go on f3 to give you a check, and now there's this throw that can happen. So the king goes, and now it threats and promotes. And now this is very simple, checkmate. You go up, you go there, you go there, you go there with check, you can't go down. Then the chimp, no, you can't put this chimp here, else you're going to be taken. What a stupid move I played here. Excuse me, let me get the variation straight. Maybe this move is better. And no, normally this is just a matter of move until you get checkmated. Where's the mates? Maybe there. Go here, go here, go here, go here. Yeah, excuse me, I took some time to find the mate. But I missed a tactic actually. Because early in the game, my assumption wasn't that bad. Because I had a brilliant move that I had to find. And somehow, just some minutes after the game, I was just put on list the game and I say, oh, I'm so stupid. Can you find here in this position the brilliant move that normally wins the game instantly? The move is egg to f8 check. Incredible. So what's the matter here? Something is wrong? Yeah, excuse me. I was in this position. So egg to f8 check is the key move. The king doesn't have any square, so the chimp has to capture. And now you promote with check. And the sad part from my opponent is that he can't even capture with the chimp, because that would create on this precise square a whelp that would check the king. So king can't even take, so king has to move up. And now this is winning for me, because I just have to take this. Maybe I can even have a tempo with check. That would be funny if I get this check, go here, and then I can just win the chimp. So very, very fun position. But unfortunately for you, my opponent has a brilliant counter answer, because thanks to the chip, he can just throw the king here. What a crazy move! And now the game seems not winning for you. It seems like everything is hanging. So how do you deal against this? Actually, there are some ways. You have to play this move, egg to f6. What a crazy move. What's the point here? First, your egg is threatened, you defend this, and somehow you defend also this spot, because if the chimp dares to take, there's egg f5 check. You can't take with the chimp, because it would just put a whelp again that checks the king. So you have to take with the king, and then I can take the chimp, and I'm winning. Do you believe this? Incredible. So after this move, this move, this move, the position seems to be complicated to play, but my opponent still has some resources. He can decide just to play this kind of move, and now a lot of stuff is hanging up there. So now this is your responsibility to get a very nice way of playing that. And here, yeah, good luck for this. There is some kind of trick here, because even the king is here. If the chimp dares to take there, you can still promote. So there's nothing to worry. You can take your time if you want. Maybe this is better to play this here and get the control here. But this is still very, very frightening, because at any time the chimp can try to go to this square later by shuffling the piece and try to throw the stuff to get some rook. So difficult position to play, but I feel like the dragons are a little better if they play good. But anyways, I lost this game. I don't regret anything. This was a pretty good game and I didn't play well. I could play better moves. But I think this game is a pure beauty. So I hope you like the game as I did. And we're going to see each other next time for another game of matches. See you then. Bye.